Commence primary ignition.
Hi, I'm Juan Davis, ILM model maker, and you're watching the Virtual Cantina.
Hey.
Hi, guys.
You didn't notice that yet?
I was looking somewhere else.
I came back. I'm like, how's that? And then Mark, like, that's perfect. And then I was like, good. All right. Anyways,
Wait, Dave, you
I
hadn't
didn't
seen-
realize we were going to be.
No, I was looking at this screen. I was on the IMDb looking up things and I hadn't looked over here.
Oh boy.
Oh.
It's going to be
Hello
quite
there.
the show with Spencer missing. We should
so-
bother him all episode and ask him what he thinks about things.
Right.
Well, hi everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm
Thank
very
you for
happy
joining
to
us,
be.
Mark.
Yeah, look, I'm
Yes.
so pumped about coming in as a guest host because this is how I started. This was my initial gig on the network.
Your
And
initiation.
yeah,
And
basically,
once you do that,
Mhm. yeah,
And it's
forever.
all
It's the
downhill
tractor
from
beam.
there.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm pumped. I demanded to be a part of this one. It was less of
yeah.
a recommendation and more of a
You picked the
requirement.
show and said I'm going to be on as a co-host.
Yeah, it was the show, the date, and I'll be on, and everyone else
Oh,
work
yeah, that's
around
true.
that. Yeah.
That's like if you're expecting us to watch part 3 of Light and Magic, that will be next week because of
yes, we
this
will
date
continue
was
and finish the
set
Light
in
and Magic.
stone before that came in to be part of the schedule that we're on right now.
We were actually trying to figure out like what to do this summer because we've had a really like busy 2025, right? And there's been a lot of like new content. Obviously we had a celebration which took up like basically weeks of programming building up to it and then during and discussion afterwards and all of that. We got a season of Andor. I feel we got Tales of this time around it was Tales of the Underworld. There's been a lot of news, like a lot of new stuff to talk about. So when the summer started, once we got through May, which is always like the big Star Wars month, we were like, what the hell are we going to do with our time? And so
There's
it turned into
104 days of summer vacation.
and here we are. And summer started yesterday.
Massive.
We've got 104 days to figure out what we're going to do on this network. And so it turned into like spoofs and sort of adjacent media, I think is what we were calling it in our chat.
Because we
Yeah,
watched
things-
Fanboys, and Fanboys was
Yeah.
you know, that's hilarious and always super fun.
As long as it's vaguely connected to Star Wars, even when it's just actors,
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
we're good. So we fly loose. But this show is an interesting one that it's not really something that I am familiar with personally. So it'll be fun to see something I haven't really seen in doing Star Wars stuff, which I'm, there'll be multi levels of things happening and I'll get all the Star Wars stuff, which is fine.
This is a very Star Wars-y Star Wars spoof. Phineas and Ferb is an excellent cartoon in their own right. But they also like treat Star Wars with a lot of reverence in this particular like adventure that they're having. And what's cool about it is they're not playing the characters. So like Ferb isn't Darth Vader. Even Dr. Doofenshmirtz, who looks like he's dressed like Darth Vader, is just a Sith Lord. Like he's not actually Darth Vader. Like they're not playing the characters of Luke and Han and Leia and everyone. And in fact, all of their action is happening parallel to the main story of A New Hope, which is very cool because we're getting sort of background shots and like they're there. It almost reminds me of like the Freemakers adventures where like in Lego that shit was going on like just to the left. Like this is how this is.
Yeah, it's very more like an alternate take of Star Wars as opposed to reenacting the Star Wars. It's
other Star Wars,
and it's not quite, but it's closer to Star Wars than it's not like Spaceballs. It's not all the way over there.
Hmm.
So it's not a well, it's a parody, but it's not a full-on do its own thing parody. Speaking of Spaceballs, can't wait for Spaceballs 2.
Again, if it's not the search for more money, somebody's not done their job.
It's the Schwartz Awakens, is my understanding.
Well, I've seen that as well. I think that's more of a tagline, but we'll see.
That better be like a working whatever or something, because no.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
It could be both.
They announced the sequel in the original. Come on.
Yes, exactly. They have to stick with that joke, right? They can't 1139 us over here.
Unless they put that up as the title and then it flashes to something else. Like,
well, that's fine as long as they acknowledge that.
Yeah.
Or maybe, I mean, ideally, it should be part of the some sort of titling, just because of the fact that they alluded to that as like this thing that we never thought was going to happen, but always wanted to, as a sequel. So.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. I love the original Spaceballs. I haven't watched it in ages, and I can't remember if we've watched it on the network recently.
That was what I was thinking too. Is like that's something that we need to revisit and watch on here.
It's been a minute, right?
It's been a good, probably a couple years, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking at least a few years, but it's hard to. I mean, we could go back and look at the archives and figure that out, but it's always a fun one, and it's always interesting how many people are like, well, I've never seen that before, and we're like, what? Huh? How? Why?
Yeah.
But and then they watch it with us, and get introduced, as it were. So, like, I'll be getting better introduced to Phineas and Ferb tonight, whereas I have seen one episode. I probably have seen bits and pieces here and there, but that's how I usually consume most average media that I'm not fully into, is I'll see little bits and bobs and trailers and whatever things that end up as memes and all kinds of different ways to get into my psyche.
So Mark, you're the huge fan here. I've watched Phineas and Ferb and consumed a lot of it, but how did you come into Phineas and Ferb?
Yeah, you're all about it.
Yeah, well, the show ran for like 150 episodes, and it was on years ago, and it went off the air pre-pandemic. So it's been, I'm trying to remember the original years. It says
I think it started
2007.
in 07.
Yeah, and then I'm trying to see when it went off the air. There was definitely a run. I think 2015 or something, and then it came back, is what it looks like if I'm pulling up my IMDb. But I've always been, as you know, like an animation guy. Like, I watch cartoons just regularly, and this one came up on like Disney XD as a recommendation. And we started pretty early. Like, I know Jason and I started watching in season 1. Like, we were following the show as new episodes were coming up, so we were paying attention. And in fact, my it's obviously a kid show, but it's like made by adults who know how to write a kid show for adults. And so they have these like very quippy one-liners, like what are we going to do today? Is like kind of like the premise of the episode. And it's like the thing that the kids are going to build in the backyard, and they're going to get into trouble. Candace, the older sister, is always trying to bust them. Yeah. So she has like anxiety. Like, she's like the living embodiment of anxiety, this girl. Like, it's wild.
I think just from watching the first episode, I would think that she goes through processes constantly of thinking she's actually insane because of things that she sees that don't like pan out for her to get them in trouble or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Right. Well, that was kind of seemed like the idea.
Oh yeah, she literally has an eye twitch because of it. And they actually like follow through on that. Like, there's actual character development, and even though there's more than 104 episodes, like, and it's all set in summer, the summer's kind of never ending and everything. But it's
and like, there's more than 104 episodes, and there's basically 2 days per episode because there's two shorts,
two 12-minute episodes or whatever for a half-hour show.
And they get into some crazy stuff. And the boys are hilarious. The mom is ridiculous. The sister, though, like Ashley Tisdale, who plays Candace, kind of steals the show in a lot of ways, because like she's your way in to like watch the insanity. And to Jeff's point, like, she could have like a nervous breakdown. And weirdly enough, in the new season, and I swear this episode just aired like 2 days ago, it's her she's the center point of the episode going to her therapist, and her therapist is realizing that all the stories she's telling him are true because she's telling him stories, and his other patient, the therapist's other patient, is Dr. Doofenshmirtz, and he's telling him his side of what's going on and all this nonsense dealing with, and Perry the platypus is the connective tissue there. So he's piecing it together that there's like these two people who are seemingly experiencing the two sides of this weird situation happening, and the connectivity is this random platypus. They're like, this has to be a thing, because there are all these random people throughout the tri-state area that are like, I saw this giant thing and then it disappeared, and everyone thinks they're crazy, right? So like mass hysteria has actually been slowly creeping into the tri-state area, and no one really knows what's going on, and this therapist is going to expose it, and then it doesn't land. So of course, like, you know, like it always does. So, but Candace like actually felt free by the end. She's like, I've been dealing with this insanity all day, and they didn't drag me away in the white coats. So, like, she's, you know, she's coping well.
Yeah.
See, I like it, and I wasn't like a religious watch it every single episode kind of person when it came out. But in 2007, like I had a 5-year-old, so that's why we're watching and consuming.
That makes more sense than me. Yeah.
So we're consuming any kind of animated content and whatever. But I like the way this really kind of harkens back to classic, and I'm saying classic like, you know, late 80s, early 90s cartoons as well. Is Candace very much reminds me of like Dee Dee from Dexter's Laboratory, like in her physicality as well.
I think in passing you had mentioned to me, or in one of the like in Zoom or something, that it was like basically it was like Pinky in the Brain, and I immediately got that, like, what are we doing tonight, Pinky?
Exactly.
Our brain trying to take over the world, but it's
formula.
not always trying to take over the world. It's some other.
Yeah, it's what are we doing today on summer vacation, as
like
opposed to
same
what are we doing
premise.
Tonight? It's the same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
It reminds me very much of that sort of similar premise. And
so, but
early
think
90s
about that,
kind of cartoon.
And how far back, if they did, or if the creators of this remembered any of that, Animaniacs was probably 15 years before Phineas and Ferb.
Yeah,
like that's going back, and then Dexter's Laboratory was a good like
between, right?
10 or so.
Yeah,
is, you know, and that's you know, there's your Star Wars connection again. That's created by Genndy Tartakovsky, the creator of the micro series.
I didn't realize
Dexter's
that.
Laboratory.
I forgot about that.
Think about it. His style is totally there visibly in terms of the character creation and stuff. That kind of weird design, along with Samurai Jack and the micro series.
And Samurai Jack has James Earl Taylor.
Well,
him too, maybe.
Mixing your metaphors.
Do you want to feel old? Pinky and the Brain came out in 1995. And I know the Animaniacs was probably 93 or whatever it was. Yeah. They got their spin-off afterwards. Holy hell. Right. Like, Pinky and the Brain is 30 years old, which is crazy. And you're right that I think Phineas and Ferb has a little, like, if we were going to mix this up like we were in the laboratory, it would be a little dash of Dexter's Lab. It would be a dash of Pinky and the Brain. It would be a dash of Looney Tunes, because there's some crazy physical comedy in the show. Yeah. And honestly, I think like that 90s humor that we found in like not a Beavis and Butthead, almost more like a Daria. Like there's something still, like,
and it still goes even classic. How very little that Ferb speaks is Laurel and Hardy.
Yeah,
it's the two very different step brothers. And I don't know that I picked up on that the first watch around.
Who are the comedians? One of them doesn't talk.
Penn and Teller.
Penn and Teller. Yeah. It's them too. Like all these, for all the tropes that they have, I still feel like the show is like super original. But it like takes the best of those little dashes of ingredients and it bakes a very different cake with it. Like this show is super engaging season after season.
Them two are like Jay and Silent Bob as well, where one very much just talking and doing whatever, and the other one sort of watching and being quiet and sort of, going along with the ride.
Yeah. And for anyone who doesn't know, like the family dynamic here, they're actually stepbrothers, which you don't realize in the first couple episodes. Candace is the older sister of Phineas. Phineas's mom is the mom in the show, and Ferb's dad is the dad in the show, and they're remarried to each other. So that is the connectivity there. So they're actually a blended family, which I don't even remember if it comes up in the first season, but it explains why they look nothing alike, and why the dad is somehow British. So yeah. Which is really fun because apparently he's like kind of in on it. Like there's an episode where he builds something with the boys. They like make a plane and they fly around with it, and then they land, and like it's as if nothing had ever happened. And they get asked like a really random question, and they didn't lie about it, but like they didn't really. The dad says something and it's just sort of dismissive, and they never think about it again. So like the dad is also like a secret like an engineer inventor type, which I think is where Ferb gets it from.
Right.
It's an interesting group for sure. I just love this show. If we could do like Phineas and Ferb Revisited, here we go. Add it to the network. Right after Firefly.
At some point we might want to go to do a whole bunch, like gang up on all the animated Star Wars, tribute stuff. And, this could be in that mix as well.
Well, that's what we were initially.
I know we did a lot of them before.
Yeah, we've done a good chunk. Well, this was the idea of like 2 years ago we had the Summer of Snips, and we really made like an Ahsoka focused kind of summer building up to Ahsoka. Yeah, and then we didn't really have like a big theme for last summer. People were kind of doing their own things across the network. This was going to be like our summer of spoofs. It didn't quite it's not quite landing that way, but we were talking about maybe doing the Family Guy, Blue Harvest, maybe doing Robot Chicken.
For sure.
There was a few others in the mix that I know you guys were looking at, and whatever we end up doing this summer, obviously tell us in the comments. So Troy and Sherry and everyone else who's with us, like if there's something you want us to see and cover, we are actually actively looking for programming for this summer to watch. Because
if there's something that you absolutely love, we will put you on, like right there in the little box where Von Ohlen is, right there.
That's right. Sherry has been on air numerous
times. There's a box over there that
that box
waiting for you right now.
The right place
because I forgot that Spencer wasn't going to be on or something.
Yep.
Anyways,
and we've put Sherry on air quite a few times. She was one of our major co-hosts during Celebration. That was such a trip, and I can't believe that was only like 2 months ago. Like I was telling someone, Celebration was
a lot longer ago than that.
I was really enjoying catching you guys while I was getting ready in the hotel room, lying in a tiny little Japanese hotel room bed.
Yeah,
and not wanting
legs hanging off the side.
Yeah, basically not wanting to get up to go out to the con, even though I really wanted to go to the con. But it's like the day before had done me in already. But anyways, listening to you guys was a lot of fun, though. That's what I'm giving to.
We had such a blast between Sherry coming on, Ashley, Bryce, Sarah, and JB. Like it was all of the. It was the minor league team stepping up to the plate in the biggest way, and we had such a blast doing it. And we had some clunky moments, like with StreamYard this and an overlay that, and getting our notes straight and reacting live. But we did it. Like it was so much fun.
Even with the huge time difference, we were able to kind of coordinate assisting. And then I was even on an episode, so that was cool.
That was amazing. You were on. We had Skip call in.
Skip on the other first day.
Look, I don't think Spencer sleeps. That man texted me.
Yeah, he was
all hours of the day and night. Yeah, I was like, did they just get him cocaine over there? Like, what happened?
We were just sitting. Like, we were sitting there in the panels, and he's like messaging you, and I'm like, put your phone away. They're gonna come get it. No,
they're gonna drag you away with one of those big canes.
There you go.
It was such a blast.
Walk up and escort you out.
Oh man. I have this like weird FOMO of like I wish I were there in Japan, but then what we did here was such a blast and also felt very special. I was like, I'm so glad I was here, like holding it down with everyone. Oh, and Gary too. I forgot Gary was with us. We had so many great people helping and hosting and organizing and everything. Like it was such a blast.
Well, and I think Jeff and I totally get that because we felt the same way about London.
Yeah. We were in the reverse spot where I went out there and then you guys were holding it down here.
And then doing the shows for London was fun because that gave me a little bit more connection with what was going on, as opposed to just hearing sort of about it here and there. It's like actively finding information and getting sent stuff. So that was fun.
And refreshing Twitter and Instagram and everything every 10
None
seconds.
of us are
finding
doing
the
that
news.
for LA. We're all
Yeah.
going to be there in the LA in the
Well,
person.
I was gonna say we're
gonna
less
happen.
than 2 months away now to Texas, and that Thursday we're gonna need a crew of people to host the watch along.
Oh,
So
yeah,
I'm gonna put out those feelers now.
Not
Of
thought
anyone
that
who
at
wants,
all.
anyone who no, believe me, I'm as the head of programming. I've been looking at this and I was like, there's not one person who's not a host who isn't going to Texas. So we're gonna need a team of people to come in and do a watch along on that Thursday, August 7th.
Yes.
7th, 8th,
Yes.
7th.
I believe it's the 7th. I think it's
Whatever
the
that
7th.
Thursday is.
Because the
I
8th
think
is the Friday.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the night
when
before.
they-
8,
Boozy
9,
Eve
10 is
Eve.
the con, and 7 is the night
Yeah.
before. That's when everybody's getting there mainly.
Yeah, so it might be a good show for like JB and Sarah to host, maybe with Sherry if Sherry's
Yes.
not coming to
Yeah,
Texas.
with
Sherry, we
Steve.
want you to come to Texas.
Rebel
Yeah.
ScumCon,
Hey, there's
August
the info.
10th.
Of all places, it's right there to show us.
At our disposal.
exactly.
we can
I'm
tell
like,
you.
when's that thing again? I talk about this convention every goddamn day. The fact that I can't remember, it's like sometime in August is what I say.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, Texas, August. It's that broad.
Yes.
Exactly. Whoops. Anyways,
Right.
let us know your favorite, any kind of shows. I don't know why I clicked on that, but I might as well talk about it since I did. If you have anything that you guys would like to see us watch or watch along with us, or might introduce the group to. Anyway, sorry about that. Back to Texas.
Well, that could be a thing that we do on that Thursday, the 7th, is if someone wants to step up and host something on the 7th and let it be the thing that we watch, that could be really cool. So I'll reach out behind the scenes if anyone's interested in co-hosting that night or hosting. We'll be looking for some people to be voluntold.
That is
So there
correct.
you
Yeah. Sherry's like, not going to Texas, going to California. Jealous. I do not have any Disney dates scheduled currently.
She's going to be all over California. She's not just going to be in Anaheim. So
yeah,
she's going to be having a good tour of California proper, and not taking a bus.
Very nice. Well,
But,
Sherry,
I'll
tell us
see
in
her
the
for at
comments
least
a little
a
more
day
about
or
your
two.
trip. Is it because that's not San Diego Comic-Con? San Diego Comic-Con's in July. What's happening in August?
It's a group
I
thing.
think it's Sherry's tour in California. I think that's
Unrelated to
come-
Star Wars, just
I
going to
know-
California. Love it.
There's a handful of people that are doing a couple different events, and I'll probably be included in like whatever's going on down here.
Nice.
And I'll see Sherry.
oh
And then
yeah, that's Star
Rancho
Wars.
Obi-Wan is this. She's gonna go visit NorCal, and
Nice.
they're gonna go to Rancho Obi-Wan. Her and some other people. I don't want to drop all the names, but if she wants to put in the chat, she can. But
That's
anyways,
probably-
it's gonna
Yeah.
be a great time, I'm sure. I was considering going with them, but I will be going to Rancho Obi-Wan another time, I believe. So I didn't feel the desire to make the trip up there for that yet. I want to I don't know. Anyways, I have seen lots of bits from Rancho Obi-Wan though, all over Celebration.
Yeah, me too. That's weirdly enough, I've been like air quotes working with them as like a licensee for 11 years. I was always sending them product and emailing with them, and I've seen pieces of the ranch at Celebration. That's as close as
Yeah.
I've gotten. I'm also expecting to visit Rancho
of
later
videos.
in the year at some point. So, assuming that thing lands, I'm hoping. And if not,
Yeah.
I got to make a trip out there. Like,
Definitely. It's a must do for sure.
It's definitely a
But
bucket list
timing is the
item
thing.
for a hardcore Star Wars fan. I feel like just getting to the Yoda statue, which I've done numerous
we go.
times, look at that. Oh, that's a good group.
Yeah.
I'll
I
be
feel
on the Disneyland part probably.
nice. Well, I'm wildly
part of the
offended that I've not been invited, so I'm going to email all of those people. I have their phone numbers. I'm going to text all those people and find out what the fuck. Sherry, blocked and reported. I hope you guys had a lovely trip and enjoyed your time on the network. Um,
And
Oh,
yes, but oh, is that not in here? That's no fun. Anyways, yeah, like she's gonna have a fun time, I think, with hanging out with all the cool people and
I know it's a good group.
doing the cool things. I need to add a graphic in here now. Oh, there it is. This is what I
oh,
wanted.
Keanu as well. Oh, technical difficulties.
Oh, it's it's just a random small gathering of some of my supposedly
Anyways.
closest friends. So that's all right.
That's-
All right,
that's
so
what
it's
you're
kind
not
of almost.
Nor am
Um,
I. It's like
so-
I am not there. I am here.
In all seriousness, though, there's a San Diego Comic-Con meetup as well in July.
yeah.
So if anyone is going to be in California at that time, I'm going to be at San Diego Comic-Con. We actually officially put it on the De Nuevo Novo Instagram and Facebook account yesterday.
I
So
saw
for
it.
anyone who hasn't heard me talking out loud about it for the last several weeks, like we have a booth. We're in the Lucasfilm Pavilion, 2913-G. Come find me. Come hang out. Love you too, Sherry. I will hopefully see you at some point in real life this year again. That's the tricky. I was telling someone, like, we all see each other weekly, but it's rare that we get to be together in person.
Right.
So I know a lot of people got Celebration this year, and then we have San Diego, and we'll have Texas, and then there'll be Rhode Island Comic Con. So there are numerous.
A lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, we actually have a number of
I think we're gonna have
opportunities for it to happen.
Yeah, large groups of large amount of
Mhm.
members, family members. But we're right up on 7:00 almost. So everybody open up Disney Plus.
Yeah.
And you can find Phineas and Ferb. I don't know if it's available anywhere else, maybe on Hulu.
I didn't check Hulu, but I figured everyone who's tuning in here has a Disney Plus because we're always watching Star Wars.
We always watch
watching
the
Disney
Disney
Plus.
stuff. So.
Yeah.
So this
And
one
you
is
don't
called
wanna
Phineas
go
and
in-
Ferb Star Wars. So
Yes.
just like it
Yeah,
says right there.
Don't do a search for Phineas. Don't click into the Phineas and Ferb TV show, but it should come up
Right.
as a separate thing.
Yeah, it's a separate thing.
And what's it called? It looks like it's 54 minutes long. Aren't
Yeah.
there? Normally their episodes are like 22 or something.
Yeah, it's a double
yeah,
episode. Well, it's kind of a
it's
triple.
a special.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we're doing a full hour.
This
just
is, I
about.
mean, the best of Disney XD.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Okay, Troy says both parts ?
Both parts. There's only one. Phineas and I feel like we should look for this picture. Phineas and Ferb Star Wars.
It's basically that. Phineas and Ferb Star Wars.
Yep. And it's 54 minutes.
Yes. Let me do one thing here.
It's not in the TV show, Troy. Don't go into the Phineas and Ferb TV show. Do a search for Phineas, and you'll see it pop up as its own thing.
Yeah.
You'll see Phineas and Ferb the TV show, Phineas and Ferb Mission Marvel, and then Phineas and Ferb Star Wars, and then a whole bunch of other stuff. You want that one that just says Phineas and Ferb Star Wars.
Yeah, because they branched out later because there was like
54
Christmas
minutes
specials and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So we're gonna get ready to start here, and Troy found it.
Okay,
All right.
Troy.
Yep.
Give
All right,
me a
excellent.
second. And you guys ready?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
On
Let's find this good guy over here. Here we go. That's fun. Couple of summers ago.
I'm telling you, they treat it with a lot of reverence.
You know,
May the Ferb
4A.
Which that tells you right there. This is taking place during A New Hope, just a little to the left.
And then, we immediately break the fourth wall.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Some great voice talent on this show.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there are. Well, I mean, the regular voice talent on this is great. Is Carolyn Ray is the mom, and that's she's among many other things. Is I always think from Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Yes, that's the reference. Correct reference. Yes.
Yeah. And then like Doofenshmirtz's voice, Dan. How do you say it? Povenmire.
Dan Povenmire. Yeah, he's unreal,
hilarious.
Oh, this is amazing.
Over TikTok now, he has embraced that greatly.
So this was, what year was this episode? And I really like that animation.
2014.
Okay. Yeah.
The year I became a Star Wars licensee.
Nice.
Woo!
I love this shit at the bill because Doofenshmirtz Evil Incorporated is the headquarters of Dr. Doofenshmirtz in the main TV show.
Yes.
So they've obviously transformed that into a Star Destroyer type thing.
Slightly missing the fact that it does not have the iconically shaped office building. That if anybody has driven from the north through Orlando,
oh man, that building.
I like the Office Space reference there as well.
Oh, yes, they will just reference any and everything.
Being in the cubicles and
yeah.
There's they've been doing character meet and greets at DCA with some Phineas and Ferb characters, and I've noticed a lot of people being very excited about getting their photos. Oh my god!
So I should have brought my photos from this because my husband and I went to Disney in 2015. It was that summer that like my Twitter really exploded. I went as a licensee.
Great animation.
Isn't it? It's gorgeous. We had car. I think I've told you guys this, that when I was at Topps, we did an activation at the park for the last year they did Star Wars weekends, and so the signage was all done on Topps trading cards with the blue Starfield outline, which was very cool. And so Disney was like, hey, we're going to use your logo and card design in our parks and everything. Approve this stuff, whatever, and send us a bunch of PDFs. And we're like, yeah, approved, go. That's awesome. And so I was already planning a vacation to Disney that summer to do a Star Wars weekend. And so I went and like I gave away trading cards. I built a lightsaber and I ran around all weekend, like sort of documenting my nonsense on Twitter. And it's how my sort of Twitter exploded and I actually picked up followers and started really becoming like known as the face of the brand. And that trip is where I got photos with Phineas and Ferb with my lightsaber. And they took my lightsaber, and Phineas started chasing Ferb around with it. It caused a whole kerfuffle. And we're like two grown-ass adults, no children, just in line to get pictures of Phineas and Ferb.
Disney
as
adult.
Parents are standing there with their kids, like waiting patiently for the character meet and greet. As it was a good like 3 minutes of them just like causing havoc and taking pictures and more pictures and more pictures.
Nice.
And the handlers were like not stopping any of it. And finally, I was like, we need to leave. Like we're getting killed by other adults. Like
you're getting self-conscious.
Yes, exactly. You've been there where it's like this is taking too long, but they were having a blast. They were actually a really, really fun meet and greet, and that was at Hollywood Studios. I don't know if they're still out and about, but now that the show is back, they should have them back in the park, I would think.
I would think so.
That's probably why they have them in DCA.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and for everybody like questioning here, this is also one of the tropes of the show is it's a musical. There's a musical interlude in every episode, and it's amazing. And that was a thing for a while. Like I didn't realize till I started rewatching like season 1 of Baywatch that there was always a musical interlude.
I don't know why we're rewatching Baywatch.
It was on. It came up on the For You on my Fire Stick.
I like the blue speeder that's reminiscent of ultimately Solo. So this was, before that.
And here's Luke. So Luke exists.
Right.
And like knows the kids. Look at this ridiculous speeder. I can't.
They're just friends of Luke's, and they have formed their land speeder into a pod racer, basically.
And
it only took some power converters from Tashi Station. No wonder Luke is so whiny about needing to go get.
It's those little things, like.
Oh
wow! Now this is very parallel.
Yeah.
Kind of. This is fun.
When did Disney get the license for Star Wars?
It would have been 2012
12.
when Lucasfilm got
So
acquired.
so
by
this was
Disney.
very new that Disney owned and
Mhm.
didn't have to ask for all the music.
Right.
Yeah, the music especially.
My assumption is that this was probably a script that was in works or it was being done by Phineas and Ferb, and then the acquisition happened and the timing was very fateful, right? Like,
Yeah.
or like, because Rebels had just come out. And like Rebels was the first
Mm.
real Star Wars thing that Disney had done. Because you know how long it takes animation. It's 18 months, like start to finish.
Yeah.
You can't do anything faster than that. So this must have been at least a thought or a concept. And then Disney was like, yeah, we'll give you the go ahead now that we have it. This could be our
Yeah.
first foray into Star Wars.
Start greenlighting stuff like this. Yeah.
hmm
Her helmet is weirding me out though.
Oh, but her neck is like a giraffe neck,
Yeah,
which
and
is
then
why
the
she would
back
have been
of
a
her head is
perfect like
all-
Mon Mothma in like a different timeline.
They need to they need to let this Leia into the Council of Leias. She should be official.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I looked it up. Who was in this one?
April something.
Yes. No, there's got the wrong. Where is it? Where is it? Not Ariel Winter. April Winchell.
Oh. I love it.
Oh, she was
Give
in.
C-3PO the motivation to get into the.
Oh, she was in the new DuckTales. She's by the way, her. I
She's
actually
in
don't.
everything.
I can't. Yeah, this IMDb is going on and on. There's 183 credits, all in voice, mostly Disney. Oh, she was in Gravity Falls. Oh man,
Wow.
Gravity Falls, you guys, one of the greatest animated shows of all time. Like, and also just one of my all-time favorite TV shows. As I think about my revisited brand, one day when I'm retired and do nothing but just like post things on YouTube, Gravity Falls is a rewatch we all need to do.
So, why we can't get Sith roast on Batuu is disturbing me at this point.
Yeah. I like there's a decaf.
Yeah.
There
Okay,
you go.
so there's Doofenshmirtz.
Yes. And just being Doofenshmirtzy.
Yeah. I love the robot talking about the Force. I still quote that like all the time because it's the way he says it. I don't know if this happens now, but it's one of those things. Be on the lookout for it.
Mm-hmm.
The universe is cruel and unjust. It's also a matter of fact.
It's kind of K2SO.
Oh, there it is.
Yes. It sure sounds that way.
It's so dumb. I don't know why that makes me laugh every time. The Force surrounds us. It's just so.
It surrounds us and binds us.
Oh man. You could tell they love this. They love this property, right? Like
Yeah.
this
Absolutely. That just the little things that they know. Now, have we mentioned even this that the
details.
voice right there of Agent P, right,
Mhm.
is D. Bradley Baker.
Yes. So
Yeah, he does a lot of animals.
he's very good at that kind of stuff. It's kind of wild. And
I don't
yeah,
think he's even credited. I don't even see him on the IMDb.
I've seen it elsewhere, but you're right. He's not like in here for some reason, which is weird. He's in the mainline one. So if you go to the main Phineas and Ferb page, he's listed on there, and he's in 139 of the episodes.
Maybe
So
he doesn't make the noise in this one. I haven't seen this one. He might not.
It's crazy. I thought he did.
It'd be a waste not to have him in this of all episodes.
Right.
Right. Like that would be insane. But Perry is prominently featured in this episode. So he has like a whole intersection actually with the kids, which rarely happens. Like he, as Agent P essentially. So
well, yeah, he always sneaks around and does the things.
Yeah. Where's Perry? So as we think about like the taglines from the show, what are we going to do today, Ferb? And then where's Perry? That becomes a thing of who says it, right? What you doing? Which is what Isabella usually says to Phineas.
Yes.
And then obviously Candace needs to bust the boys. So those are sort of the main tropes. And Candace being like, "Mom, mom, mom," like that's throughout.
Yeah.
Like, but those are the major things that happen in every episode. Yeah, so coming back to D.
Mid-level
Bradley
star.
Baker, he can do that on command, by the way. And we actually requested him to do so in the green room at Celebration 2019. Jason and I were like, we need you to do the Perry the Platypus voice. We didn't give a shit about the clones. And he it's like a party trick for him, and he just does it. And people lost their mind because everyone else around, a lot of people didn't realize that he was Perry the Platypus. And so he after that, he was walking around doing it, and people yeah, totally flipped out. So
Yeah, because
it's
he
very
does
cool.
all the things he's Eagly too, right?
Yeah, he's Eagly.
Oh, that's right.
He does a lot of animals.
And I even on the main line of the show is the Perry's voice is repetitive. He just kind of, but they reuse the same animation over and over again. Once he goes into his little secret door in the side of the house or the shed or whatever it is, and it's the same shooting down the thing and
Stuff
yes,
like that's easy enough to just repeat, right?
Yeah, it's very Bond. Because there's always some weird secret entrance in a place that makes no sense, like the shower, or some random thing, and it always connects to the same pneumatic tube that brings you right to the chair. And then Major Monogram gives him his assignment along with Carl the intern. And it's always Doofenshmirtz is evil and up to something. Go check it out, and then he immediately lands in the trap. It's very
Major
formulaic.
Monogram is the creator of the show, isn't he?
Is that him? Possibly.
Isn't Major Monogram is Jeff Marsh?
Yep, Jeff Marsh. You're right. Yep. Yeah, he created the show. Yeah. I always forget that's him, or that he does the voice for that. So actually, we should.
Beautiful painted backgrounds here.
All this stuff with the 3D was amazing, and all these matte painting style things.
It feels like real Star Wars, doesn't it? It's kind of amazing.
Stylized for sure, but it's definitely got the vibe. Yeah.
There you go.
Yep. Power converters.
Hang out with Phineas and Ferb.
The cast for the mainline Phineas and Ferb show. Vincent Martella is the. Did we lose Jeff?
No, I'm still here. I'm just.
He's there. He just.
I want to stuff my face a little bit more than I was doing already.
Vincent Martella does Phineas, and he's in every episode. They actually changed voice actors for Ferb. It's Thomas Brody Sangster, which is another Star Wars connection. He's obviously best known for Maze Runner, but he's got a little cameo role in The Force Awakens, and I was able to get him to sign autographs for us back in 2015. So if you have any Topps trading card sets from when I started working there, 2015 forward, we actually put him in quite a few sets. So you can find Thomas Brody Sangster signing as his Star Wars first order ensign or some low-ranking junior level officer from Force Awakens in several sets. Caroline Ray, who we talked about earlier, she's amazing. And then Dan Povenmire as Doofenshmirtz is incredible. He's probably the best specifically voice actor of the cast. And I honestly think that Candace kind of gives him a run for his money. She's pretty fantastic too.
Yeah, she's really good in this one. But there are other Star Wars tie-ins in the mainline cast that's in there too. If you keep scrolling down, it's because the list is ridiculous because they go on forever.
Tom Kenny, Kevin
Tom
Michael Richardson.
Kenny, you get in there. We were talking about Todd Stashwick. That's the Star Trek connection there. Ming-Na Wen.
Yeah.
This is absolutely amazing that people that have been on here. Barry Bostwick, Seth Green, Phil Lamar.
Yep. Seth Green, Phil Lamar, Jennifer Hale. That's 3 in a row that are Clone Wars or Rebels people. Clancy Brown.
Jennifer Grey.
Yeah. Weirdly enough, and this is
Nancy Brown.
Separate conversation. New York Comic Con announced their list of autograph people, and there are numerous Clone Wars and Rebels people.
Mm-hmm.
I was surprised. So I don't know. I guess these voice actors are working in so many different things. They might be in something right now that's hot that I'm unaware of. But like Robbie Damon is going to be there, and he's like a prolific anime voice actor.
Well, and they may be going kind of like an old school kind of thing, because I looked deep into the list of their comic creators, and there was a lot of classic comic creators from the 90s in there. Frank Cho, Jim Lee, lots of people in there.
Mm-hmm.
That took a long time to bake that replacement cake there.
Yeah. Oh, there's Monogram.
Yeah. Now I can just view. Oh, there you go. Next place.
Oh my God, the Death Star. Yeah, pay no attention to the Death Star. Go handle like Doofenshmirtz and whatever he's up to.
Oh yeah, was Doofenshmirtz's ship the shape of that building you were talking about, Dave? It has that weird kind of
yes, it's the curve over and the opening like balcony thing.
Right. There he is down in the corner underneath the fence.
Perfect. I like the further you go down is the crossover people that are from other properties that appear in here. Is you've got Tara Strong, Clancy Brown, that are obviously from what's Tara from Powerpuff Girls, and Clancy from SpongeBob. Lots of others. You've got Mark Thompson is in here. You've got
there's more Star Wars people. Simon
Rob
Pegg,
Paulson.
Deborah Wilson, Josh Gad, Tim Curry, who I love. I mean, Keone Young are one of our greatest interviews ever. We still talk about that. Fred Tascatore, who's in Resistance, my favorite show. And then Leah Remini is in this show. I mean, I love her. She's nuts.
Well, we talked about Pinky and the Brain, Rob Paulson.
Oh.
In there.
Yeah, it's a crazy cast. I mean, and there's a lot of ones, like you were saying, like Kelly Osbourne's in this.
Is that Bo Duke?
That is Luke Duke.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Luke is
up. I always thought the blonde was Luke for some reason when I was young, and then it stuck in my head, and it's the other way around, just because of Star Wars.
Oh, and we would be remiss in saying, rest in peace. Rick Hurst died today. Is Cletus Cletus Hogg from the Dukes of Hazzard.
Oh man,
John Stamos was in Phineas and Ferb.
Does he play himself? Because there's a bunch of celebrities who play themselves.
Judd Nelson, Ben Stiller, it's ridiculous.
Oh no,
Evander Holyfield.
Make Ronto raps out of that Ronto.
Yeah, see, like they're witnessing the getaway of Han and Chewie over here.
Let's
look how good that Falcon looks.
It's a really nice mix,
the lighting and everything,
of, like computer assisted animation here. This is not computer animated, but it's computer assisted.
Well, it's like that 3D model was just very well stylized.
Yeah, it fits in the world.
I mean, like usually a lot of that they do weird things to make it look much more drawn. Like his arm's still smoking.
I like that it's still alive at least.
Yeah. What do we do? Just tug right on his shirt.
Oh, Greedo.
No.
Someone said he shot first. This is terrible.
I could have sworn it was the other guy.
So there's Isabella sitting in the corner. And actually, this is
Chewie's still there.
The credit on this is Vanessa as a Twi'lek, which Vanessa is Doofenshmirtz's daughter.
Okay, yeah.
And so they actually transform her a little bit for this.
Well, and this is the kind of thing that kids don't get. This is your adult humor, right?
It's the multi-level thing that helps keep the parents, not from losing their minds while they're watching
I'm
along
sitting
with
here
the
and I'm
kids.
not just like letting my 5-year-old watch it. I was watching along with the original episodes.
Right.
I don't have kids, and I was watching this live. Like we stood in the meet and greet line to meet these characters at Disney. Like this is how much I like this property. So and they did a one-off movie a little while ago. It was Candace versus the World. Before they sort of dipped their toe before they decided to bring it back this year. So we're current. Like we're up to the latest episode from last week. Like I'm in on this property.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and this is a good formula. This is classic Disney formula that if you can like get the parents invested, like this was way more tolerable than Bear in the Big Blue House or whatever it was that we were watching.
It's got to have that Looney Tunes element where it's slapstick, goofy comedy, but then there's jokes that are well above, the kids' heads.
Yeah, like Millennium Chihuahua is so ridiculous. Not Millennium, it was Centennial Chihuahua. That's what it was. Like, so not the Millennium Falcon, but the Centennial Chihuahua.
Right.
Like, this is so stupid. I love it.
Uh-oh. No.
Oh, no. Ooh.
See, exactly. It's uh-oh.
Wow, that's a big structure.
That's also very, like, Star Trek-y kind of like ship there with the nacelles on the top.
It's like a weird version of Slave One as well.
Yeah, that is true too.
Yeah, it's got some inspiration from a few different ships in the sort of core Star Wars lineup of potential like ships that you would know the names of, right? Like no one knows the name of any ship other than Slave One.
Yeah.
And the Millennium Falcon. Those are probably the two. Oh yeah, they still don't have the socks. So going back to the voice cast on the original like Phineas and Ferb TV show, obviously there's like a ton of guest stars and all that, but D. Bradley Baker, obviously being Agent P and the Perry the Platypus, he's in pretty much all the episodes. So is Thomas Brody Sangster. They actually replace Ferb after a few episodes and bring him in. He doesn't do a ton. He's got very few lines. Typically, you'll hear him talk a little bit more in this special.
Yeah, early seasons at least is like he had like one line at the end, and that was.
Yeah, sometimes he just does this. Like he gives like a thumbs up, and they're kind of on their way. Because like Phineas is sort of the planning, or he'll give this like incredibly convoluted long sentence being like explaining everything, and then Ferb just sort of like agrees, and they're kind of on their way with the plot. Those are the two biggest connections to Star Wars within the cast. But yeah, from there, like just the show itself, I mean, I highly recommend like just tune into the first few seasons and our first few episodes.
You would get, and it goes fast. Because especially watching it, now on streaming without commercials.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like if you're not watching live and you're not getting that time chunk, like it's 20 minutes to, and everything now is like skip credits, like move to the next thing. Like you can binge something in half the time, it seems. I have friends too who watch things at 1.2 speed, and I'm like, that's insane. I can't take that in. Like,
that's a lot.
Yeah, or what is it? Was it 1.1? Like whatever the one is that you can barely tell the difference. Apparently, I don't know. I'm gonna notice.
Yeah, you'd think the audio would be altered as well, but I guess they have things that help with that.
Well, you see that all the time, like when they put clips of TV shows or on.
There's lots of new stuff in StreamYard.
I saw that.
You can They have an automatic ad for StreamYard that I just posted. But if you want to use StreamYard, you can get a $10
Ooh.
discount. So.
Oh yeah, you, like StreamYard is the thing. Is I was talking to my daughter. My daughter does a little TikTok thing. And it's like, you could do that as a podcast thing. Is like, I happen to know podcasting software.
Mm-hmm. Richard O'Brien, Riff Raff from Rocky Horror, is the dad's voice.
Wow,
that's cool.
Is that the same Richard O'Brien? Yeah, Lawrence Fletcher. Oh, you're right. Yeah, I forget. Like, that's him. Yeah,
that's great. Choke him out for getting a sandwich instead of socks.
I like how Isabella's the muscle.
There you go.
So apparently, like Dan Povenmire, which I did not realize this, is actually just as prolific as a creator and writer in the art department. Like, like he is a storyboard artist and director for Charlie Brown specials, Kim Possible, Family Guy, SpongeBob.
Oh wow,
those are big shows. Like Kim Possible, I didn't know because I was not the target for that. Kim Possible was gigantic. And SpongeBob is still running. They have a movie coming out this year. How?
Yeah.
How is that show? It's 25 years later, and it's not even like it's a nostalgia play. Like that show is legitimately running new seasons. And there's a new movie, a live action animation mix coming out later this year.
Kind of the trend these days with Simpsons has been on like what 36 seasons at this point or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, 36.
I miss when The Simpsons was good. When that show was good, it was the best. And then when it got bad, it fell off.
It's like now it's more hit and miss. There's some good episodes, but they have a whole different structure these days, it seems. And they don't, it's not as like riffy and one-offy. It's more like we're going to do a whole episode that's like an homage to this movie or something. And they do that a lot.
I haven't watched in ages. What I used to do is I always made sure I watched the Treehouse of Horror. And come October, I will rewatch my favorites, and then I'll try to watch the most recent ones. But like even those aren't as good. And unless like the aliens are in it, I really don't care. Like I want to see.
Yeah, you gotta have Kang and Kodos.
Yeah, Kang and Kodos are where it's at. Like why don't they have a show? The fact that like they were in one.
There's no
episode,
spin-offs of The Simpsons.
It makes no sense.
I never even considered that, but that is very odd.
The fact that they didn't do even just like a summer series of Kang and Kodos 20 years ago is the kind of like missed opportunity that like how is the show on for 36 years and you don't have like a summer of just like the kids doing stuff without the adults, or like a Kang and Kodos or something,
right? Like 90210 at the beach.
Yes. Oh my God, 902 Sun O. I remember the ad campaign for that shit.
And then like or like back when it was not nearly as well as viewed as nearly politically incorrect, like a Quickie Mart spinoff.
Oh my God, that would have been amazing.
Watch the hell out of that. It's just what happens to a poo at the Quickie Mart.
Yes, I love Apu. And by the way, I watched a little bit of the problem with Apu, right? It was a white actor doing the voice, and what kills me is that at the time it felt progressive, and then everyone was saying, we should really change the voice actor, and instead of Dan Castanella or Matt Groening or everyone else being like, yeah, you're right, like let's change that up, like we love this character, let's like make a very easy switch here. They like pushed back against it, and I was like, what are we doing here? Just recast the voice, and like people love Apu, and like and then like it created all this controversy, and I don't think for the better. But now we find they did replace the voice actor finally, and I forget who took over. But
they did that with Carl as well. They got a African American to do his voice, and there might be one or two others.
There's been a lot of recastings due to unfortunate passings as well too, and some people who have just like the characters have been retired.
Basically, like Mrs. Krabappel. they reference her. You'll see her in a shot, but she won't talk.
Yeah, I love Mrs. Krabappel. Yeah, that was
Well, I
better
mean,
than
it's
rehearsal.
going on for as long as it's been going on. You're gonna have to deal with that.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
It brings up the question of like how long will a show like that last, right? It's in prime time. It's not like it's airing in syndication on some like shitty channel that they just, keep making episodes
But
on
even,
the cheap or something.
We also like South Park has got to be pushing 30 years, 25
30.
at least.
It's definitely 30. I'm a licensee. I can tell you it's the 30th.
And then even shows that are new like Bob's Burgers. That's I think in 15 right now.
Easily over 10, if not 15.
I know for a fact it's in 15. Season 15 is what they're finishing up currently.
Oh, then yeah, that's amazing.
I love that show.
Mm-hmm. Bob's Burgers is also
thing
highly
about it,
quotable.
like the original Looney Tunes aired from 1930 to 1969.
Yeah.
And it's back. And it's been back and come and gone, and the new ones are not really watchable.
Well, they're too frenetic. Look, I love Tasmania. Like that show is the one that like Taz is my spirit animal, as if anyone in the comments couldn't tell like that was going to be my Looney Tune if we were going to line them up. I've always been something of a Tasmanian devil, and when he got his own show, I like lost my mind. And he's like prominently featured in the first Space Jam movie. And do you remember all the merch from the 90s where it was like Bugs and Daffy and Taz, and they were all like kind of cool. Like that was their thing. They had like the baggy jeans and the oversized t-shirts sort of to tie in with like the Space Jam.
Like to tie in with Crisscross is like the backward stuff they were all wearing. Yeah.
Oh my god, I love that whole aesthetic.
Well, the days of the Warner Brothers store when you could go and get like the entire cast embroidered across the entire back of your jean jacket.
It's so ridiculous. Why were we doing that?
I have a shirt I bought at our Six Flags here, Magic Mountain in Southern California, that is Taz's shirt, and it's basically just his face on a brown shirt.
Yeah, that's perfect. Look, we have a full-size adult Taz costume. Like, they're fun. And of course, it looks the cutest is on a toddler, right? Like, because they are devils. So, yeah. Oh my god, this is killing me with him in the scuba gear talking to the monster underneath the this is just insane. Because he's trying to collect force. For anyone who might have lost the plot on this, like, do you finish?
But see, he's down in the trash compactor, and it's again. Where can you have them cross over to the original movie?
Well, right there. That much more of the trash compactor, kind of actually what you would imagine that creature would be in, but they're standing on a whatever that somehow it doesn't equate. But
and then Perry and Carbonite,
so ridiculous.
And
the kids acknowledge that he was secretly part of the rebellion, and they hadn't seen them in a while. So that was cool that there's like an in-universe, like, oh, Perry's right there.
Yeah. Lots of R2 noise. Oh.
Yeah. Perry the Rebel Puss.
Gotta use his full name in that weird version.
See, this just supports the Kevin Smith. There were private contractors on the Death Star. Like they're just average at the credit union.
Regular people who joined the military. I mean, we saw it in Andor, right? There were a lot of normal, regular people who were just part of the industrial military complex government situation just because, not necessarily evil. And then there were people who were, of course.
Oh, Luke and Leia swinging by in the background.
It's so good. And there's Candace hanging on.
See, this is fun. It's sometimes it's just like Candace always just wants the worst for them, but they love her.
Yeah, like they don't think anything of it.
Episode 2, where they carve her face on Mount Rushmore for her birthday. I saw that one.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was part of the first episode there was two different stories.
Yeah, Cloud City. See, and
Oh, no.
and at first they said like, why aren't there railings? Like they
Yeah.
know the lore that nerds like us are talking about. Why aren't there railings? Oh, I'll slide down that thing in Cloud
Yeah.
City. Like they know what's up.
Like
hope
this
that-
is so very much not at all for kids. The kids that
No.
watch the regular show are watching this, but this is they evolved beyond it.
Hmm. Going back to,
Hmm.
oh god, I fully lost my train of thought there. It was about the mainline show, not about Star Wars, and I totally lost it.
Mm.
Oh, that kids wouldn't be as into it maybe as the parents, kind of thing. I
Oh,
mean,
that
this
would be
episode.
this episode for Star Wars, yeah, but for the main show, oh my god, yeah. There's too many moving pieces now. I'm trying to keep up with yeah. Oh, this scene is one of my favorites. So this is where we find out that the Sith Ray, the Dark Force Ray, hit Ferb, right? And so he's a Sith now.
Right.
Oh,
they showed him with
no.
the red eyes.
Oh
just a
yeah,
moment
right there
ago.
above
Yeah.
Jeff's head there.
Yeah, look at that. That character
Yeah.
design is amazing.
Darth Ferb.
Yeah, cool face paint. Look at how good Yavin looks.
That shouldn't be common knowledge, first
They're
of all.
just like, oh yeah, it's,
Maybe it fell out.
oh, mixing your metaphors. Like, no, he doesn't even.
That's classic. What's to blow up R2? There it is. Yeah.
Never like a tauntaun in the oral cavity. Yeah, tell me that's for children. It's just like,
Yeah, it's definitely.
They might understand Tauntaun.
yeah.
And that's about it. Ah, there's the flashlight.
Is there a face painting
Nah.
around here? It's so stupid.
The Sithinator.
Mhm.
That's the
Everything
other
is-
thing for everybody. Everything is an innator.
Yeah. INATOR, innator. Yeah, that's his invention of the week. It's so ridiculous. And the stuff he comes up with is always borderline insane.
Like the deflatinator. Like we're going to like deflate all the tires.
It's always some convoluted scheme because he wants to rule over the tri-state area, which they don't tell you what states they are. But we find out later his brother is the mayor, which not the governor, but he's the mayor of the city of the tri-state area. Like the democracy of it all doesn't make sense, like the structure of government, but like he's really jealous of the brother. We also get a lot of backstory on Doofenshmirtz to find out why he is the way he is. Apparently,
we
he
get
has,
his parents and stuff at some point.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, they're very unloving, and he grew up in, I guess, in somewhere Europe, right?
Yeah,
somewhere
like
sort of
Eastern
vaguely
Europe.
European Germany, but like cold, distant, unloving parents. The brother was the favorite, and whenever anything fun was happening, like Doofenshmirtz was never able to be included, which is kind of what made him evil. But then it turns
I
out,
think
like, he's like a good dad. Like he's like a great dad to Vanessa. So it's weird that he's like weirdly evil, but then like kind and loving to his own child.
Well, kind and loving and encouraging her to be evil.
Yeah, always trying for her to be evil, but then he's not super disappointed that she's not following his path. Like he's like pretty supportive, but not overbearing.
Yeah, like very early on in the series, I think we get that his parents, their garden gnome was stolen, and they dressed him up and stood him outside and made him be the new garden gnome. And he had to stand out there all day and all night, all the time. It's like,
oh yeah, they're both
torture.
like physically and emotionally abusive, and it's supposed to land with like just enough humor that you don't call like CPS. Like it's really the parents are a problem. But yeah, they don't. I don't think they ever show up in present day. They're always in flashbacks. But the brother is actively in some of the plots.
Huh. Oops.
Oh.
It's so stupid.
Flip the switch on him.
And like literally the literal Han Solo, and there's all the always the Girl Scouts show up.
They're a blast. They always save the day. They have a lot of ingenuity. Isabella's obviously their leader. And Isabella does have a crush on Phineas. That doesn't actually sort of materialize in this quite as much, but like one of the reasons she comes around every day to see what they're up to is she's crushing on Phineas. We find out later in the series that Phineas also has a crush on Isabella, but doesn't know how to do anything about that. And he's like oblivious to the fact that she loves him, even though he's got such a severe crush on her. Again, they're kids. They're like 7 or 8 or 9 years old. Whatever. I don't know, 15. I can't keep track. But there is a flash forward episode toward the end of the series called The Last Day of Summer. And it's the one they go off to college. Last Day of Summer is the series finale. But there's a flash forward episode before Last Day of Summer that takes them to when they head off to college. And it seems like at that point they still like haven't like identified their love for one another, but that's made that profession comes out in the story. Meanwhile, this is amazing with Han Solo talking to Isabella.
That's like a fun Han Solo. That's a fun Han Solo voice.
And so that's Ross McQuand, who of course does a lot of he's Walking Dead, he's Marvel, he took over as Red Skull. He does a lot of voice mimicry. So he that's why they brought him in for Red Skull for Avengers. He replaced the original actor from Captain America. And so he's got quite a bit of that. Like he can mimic voices really, really well.
Their Chewie is it's a very stylized animated. It's from the Grateful Wookiee. It's really from the holiday special kind of Chewie.
Definitely looks that way.
You can tell they got tons of inspiration from everything before this.
And they pay little homages to like with Ferb being sort of Darth Maul-ish. There's a little bit of episode 1, even though we're feeling like this is obviously episode 4. Oh my God, these lightsabers!
And of course, they're blaming it on Jar Jar.
Yep. And
that was 20 years ago.
And the spinning lightsaber, we start seeing that in Rebels, like right during this time period. So this was obviously something that was like being worked on in tandem in the mainline show that Disney was working on. So yeah, there's a lot of like deep lore in here along with the obvious stuff.
But this in the crawl, the episode was called 4A. So
yep,
right.
It's definitely adjacent to the original, and then everything else is.
And see, they're actually interacting with Perry as Agent P here, which never happens in the show, or
and
very
they have that,
rarely, if ever.
Only in a galaxy far, far away.
And I think in Night of the Pharmacists, which is their Night of the Living Dead parody, that one is spectacular. Yeah, it's a recent development.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, and see, still can't Stormtrooper. She can't hit anything.
Nope.
Yeah. Oh no.
The socks. I like that. It all comes back to that. They're very good at like pulling that thread from the start of an episode and having it pay off.
Oh.
Oh. Uh-oh.
Boom. The innate. Oh.
The self-destruct port.
Generation.
Yeah, so with Perry, earlier in the episode, the kids acknowledge that he snuck off to join the rebellion, which is their in-universe answer for
Gotta fix his hair.
how they're all here.
Right.
So-
Perfectly good.
oh no! Don't eat that. It's terrible.
Soggy
I love
hoagie.
that he stole Obi-Wan's robe and explains why it's missing. I guess.
And how he makes that crate dragon call in the Death Star.
Oh man.
Oh, you can see the trench, nice little window out of
Yeah,
the
exactly. The windows from the trench.
Perfect. And then they realize
Actually
they're gonna
makes
hit
sense
the
in-
exhaust board.
in terms of design, because although
What was that? That was Spaceballs.
oh no.
Hate that hoagie.
Oh
Uh-oh.
God.
I like that they have a brother sister finding each other, kind of like they do in the original
yeah.
Star Wars. It's very clever.
Nah.
I love that. Mom remarried? They never tell you what happened
No.
to Dad, even in the
Oh, and they're-
mainline series.
And
So-
they're dead.
Yeah.
And then did they?
Oh wait.
That was close. It's like
There it is.
exactly.
Bowling alley attendants.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, the Girl
Giant
Scout
ship.
equivalent group, like, not only always save the day, they have like the best plans. They're not in every episode, but they're like a nice recurring group of characters, especially
Well,
for
and all
Isabella.
of their friends, the neighborhood kids.
Yeah, and they usually pop in for when there's like a new invention or something, and they need like extra people to attend to whatever crazy event they're doing. The guy who voices Kenneth on 30 Rock, and I'm blanking on his name. He plays one of the kids in the neighborhood too.
Oh,
And
Jack McBrayer.
yes, I love him. I think he's so funny, and his voice is so immediately recognizable. He
Oh,
plays
yeah.
one of the recurring kids too. He's one of like the nerdy kids. Oh, here we go. This is the medal ceremony.
You have to have
Nice.
the medal ceremony.
Like they literally made an R2 and or sorry, a C3PO, like basically just for this scene. Like he's not in the rest of it.
Well, he was in
He
the
was in it
beginning
for a little bit
when they-
earlier.
Oh, that's
getting
true.
into the
the
pod
escape
and
pod.
a
Yeah.
little bit on Tatooine. But after that,
There you go. This is
More music.
yeah,
How
it's
fun
like
was that, right?
Fourth
Like
song or something.
Yeah.
And she has her voice is similar to was it Cy Snoodles?
Yeah, it does kind of sound like that.
That kind of a similar tone. But anyways, yeah, that was a fun show.
you can imagine
I like
them
this
coming
episode
back
more
in-
than the first episode, but of
Yeah.
course the Star Wars helped that.
Well, yes, the Star Wars helps, and the other one, it doesn't. Their regular ones, it doesn't become funny until how many of them you've seen. So many.
Yeah, a
of
lot
them
of shows are like that, where
you know,
you
stuff,
get a
and-
couple of seasons in or into the season at least, where it kind of finds itself, and then
Yeah,
everything
Mhm.
really gels. Because like Simpsons was like what season 3 or something when they really like caught fire and had their whole thing.
well, and plus they had already been going on Tracy Ullman forever as well.
Well, they had been on before the show actually started, of course, but
Yeah.
those were little weird vignettes, and they altered the show a lot from that.
We're not related, are we?
Just in case.
back in full force. There you go. Additional voices: Adam Savage.
Oh, nice. Wayne Brady.
Yeah.
It's so random. Yeah, the Rebel Let's Go
Kevin-
song is really fun
Yeah.
too.
Come in
In the world.
trying to do the worm. That's just bizarre. But yeah, throwaway lines here and there. When you see names like that, it's always because they love the show.
I could see with now the show back on air that they do something for the new trilogy.
Oh no!
Like I think that could be really fun, or a prequel version.
Oh,
The Mando.
Porkins.
Or
Phineas and
Mando,
Ferb.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Phineas and Ferb and Grogu. Grogu meeting Perry would be such a moment.
Yeah.
That could be really cute. Or Perry meeting a clone trooper just because it's like too on the nose.
Oh, I
Like-
think Perry meeting Grogu, but finding out that Grogu is another agent.
Oh, that would be really
Yeah.
fun. Yeah, he's a
seeing
bounty
Grogu
hunter. Yeah.
doing
Mhm.
little shady things where everything you
But
actually
see,
see of him normally is
Adam
him being
Savage,
cute.
like this time would have been like in the middle of his Mythbusters heyday that he just decides to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he doesn't do a ton of. Yeah, he's on Mythbusters Junior. Like he's only got 17 acting credits. It's not big.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, you have to really. I think these people who are like coming on love the show. Like Kelly Clarkson played herself on the show when they did the Christmas special, because they do like a Kelly Clarkson Christmas, like an actual Christmas special, the way that you would host like one of those things. They do it like
Well,
that.
that's funny.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Classic. Well, that was a lot of fun. Thank you for joining us and choosing this show, which I'd never seen before. So
it's a good one. I'm happy everyone enjoyed it. Well, what else are we going to do for the summer? What do you guys have cooking up for us? I know there's a lot of ideas brewing still. We got to do Light and Magic next week's part 3.
yeah, we're finishing up Light and Magic with
episode 3 of Light and Magic.
Mhm.
But we've talked about Robot Chicken. We've talked about what is it? What's the Family Guys? Blue Harvest.
No, Blue Harvest is the first one, and
Yeah,
then
that was the
something
first
something
one.
something Dark Side.
right.
And then I forget what the third one is, but yeah, they do the original trilogy basically.
Yep. Which was pretty cool.
We haven't done those before on the network. Robot Chicken or the
don't-
Family Guys.
I thought we had watched Family Guy, but I could be wrong.
I'm not sure.
But yeah, we can always we'll double check. But
we came up with is a Spaceballs would be a cool one as well, and timely and appropriate
for sure. We'll have to do some more kind of brainstorming, and again, give us your suggestions if you know of a. I mean, we could do elements of like that 70s show that there's an episode.
There was
where
that 70s show episode where
It's
they
not
go
animation,
in
but-
line for
they're
Star
waiting
Wars.
in for the movie, right?
Yeah.
And
There's an episode of the Goldbergs where they go to see Return of the
Right.
Jedi also. There's like a whole Star Wars episode. I think that could be really
so
fun.
I think Goldberg's was ABC, right?
Mhm.
So they would probably be on Hulu or Disney Plus somewhere, maybe.
Yeah, I
that
would think
70s
so.
show should be as well because they're Fox. And
Oh,
that's
there's
owned by
apparently
Disney,
I'm down the rabbit hole over here. There's an episode. This is similar to this. There's an episode of The Fairly Odd Parents.
Oh, there you go.
Ooh,
Yes.
I haven't seen that one. I would watch that.
Yeah, we need to investigate.
All right, Goldbergs is on Disney Plus.
Okay, that's good.
The Goldberg Star Wars episode, season 1 episode 20, Jedi Master Adam Skywalker.
So apparently an episode. I think this might be a little bit too far back. Is Rugrats? Tommy Pickles has the Force.
Nah,
Oh.
yeah, I don't know if we need. Well, Rugrats, yeah, it's kind of the. most of the shows.
This might be. I might have to look at this one. There's apparently an episode of Pinky and the Brain, Star Wars Animaniacs.
Ooh.
Shut up.
Oh,
Mhm.
How have I not? I swear I looked everywhere for like all the spoofs and stuff, and I don't remember seeing that. Pinky and the Brain Star Wars.
there
Yeah.
it credits. It's like right there. Is their approach is essentially the precursor to Family Guy's take. Star Warner.
Oh, here we go. TV episode 1998. Damn.
Yes.
All right. I
Yeah,
feel like we got to throw that in the mix.
Uh-huh. Well, and that's probably a short one. There's some of these are probably we could watch
Yeah, you could
Because
do
some of
two
these,
in
I
a.
don't think they did like a big hour special. It's probably just a standard episode.
You know, like
that they did the
yeah,
whole
it's
thing.
like if it's that 70s show, I'm pretty sure it's just a regular 22-minute episode. But yeah, they could
There's
have.
a Teen Titans animated series, Star
Hmm.
Wars parody.
Oh, that's fun.
Mhm.
Yeah, this is just 22 minutes for the Star Warners of
Oh,
Pinky
yeah.
and the Brain. So yeah, if you
That's
did like a
cool.
double feature or something, that 70s show
Or
and
even 3.
Goldbergs would pair nicely together.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There's actually 2 Goldbergs episodes, apparently. There's a season 1 and a season
You could
4.
do 3, and it's only an hour and 10
Yeah.
minutes or something, right?
Cool.
Yeah.
Um,
All right,
so
well, we've got
that's,
some options, guys.
good options for sure.
Well, all right,
But
let's
well, we
talk
need
about
to talk about
what's
all
coming
the
up from the
things
network.
coming up.
Well, if you have
About
not
this.
watched the Daughters of
Oh,
the
yeah.
Galaxy this week,
Yeah.
if you did not watch that, go back to the YouTube channel, or you can find our YouTube channel right there from our website, virtualcantinanetwork.com. Such an amazing interview.
Diana was
The
amazing.
ladies from Daughters of the Galaxy did an
Yeah, they were
amazing
great.
job. She was
Great question.
so much more personable than I even imagined just on the show, and just the volunteering things, the great things that you hear about her father and her godfather and her introduction to Star Wars.
And also her connection with things she did that led up to getting her job in Star Wars.
Yeah.
That was amazing. Yeah. The that whole interview was really fun. A lot of good insight.
That was
Yeah, I
great.
thought
So go check that out. And of course, you can see where we're going to be. You can see Diana in person at Rebel ScumCon. She is going to be with us at the Boonta Eve special edition in Texas. That is on the Friday night of Rebel ScumCon. At the Revel patio bar and grill. And that's sponsored by our friends over at VIP Home Theaters. They are like amazing, and I want to see like Star Wars. I need to see the introduction to Star Wars in their home theater mock-up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Them along with a slew of other sponsors. We appreciate all of them. So whoops, let me turn this guy off.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you want to check out our sponsors, definitely do that, and they will all be represented at Boonta Eve. We're also doing this guy still. We're working.
Oh
our
yeah,
way
it
up.
is still the road to 100K. Like we're still not at our 99 quite yet. We're getting awfully close.
And once we get there,
Mm-hmm. I'm
we
so
have
excited
a
about that.
So,
lovely autograph.
join with all your second
Alternate accounts. Any other
alternate accounts and things like that. We are at 98,759 right now.
Yeah, we're
98,759.
right around the corner. So once we hit that, that will trigger the contest, and you can enter that. And odds are pretty good, I think, if you're paying attention to the page, to as a possible winner of that contest. I will definitely be entering because
Hosts are loud. I'm in that one.
Hosts, yes,
In on it.
So, but then we even have another 1,000. So, spread the word, because there's more contests coming after that. When we get to 100,000,
we've got something special planned for 100.
Nice one.
Oh, the prize for 100 is crazy. Mark, wink, wink, nudge.
So that
we might have
an
in with someone who knows a guy who knows a guy.
That won't be announced till we hit about 99.5. So
yeah,
we got to get through 99, give away the Hayden autograph, and then get a few more members of the group, and we can announce what the 100,000 giveaway is, and you guys will be very pleased, I think. So
yeah, it's exciting. And then What's next on the? So actually, Sunday is our next thing.
Sunday
on the
is our
network.
next episode.
We've got
yeah.
our very special Pride episode. As you guys know, it's Pride Month. In fact, I should be out tonight, but here I am on a Thursday doing the watch along. Pride's all month and all year, et cetera, et cetera. But like this is the weekend, right? So we've got the parade on Sunday, which is usually in line with like San Francisco's parade as well. But like this is the final weekend of June, so we've got a variety of things going on. But on our network, we'll have a Sunday special presentation at 12 noon. Me and Ashley and Mike Delicard will be talking all things queer in Star Wars, and we actually have stuff to talk about this year. I was joking, I was like, we have moved far beyond the pig and the chicken. We have actual lesbians. We have queer characters in books and comics. And yeah, we're going to talk about the state of like sort of queer media as well, because there's a lot of moves and exciting things happening, which is great. Not the least of which is like Megan hits theaters tomorrow. Jonathan Bailey is one of the leads in Jurassic World. Right now, Shea Coulee, drag queen from Drag Race, is on Ironheart, which is airing on Disney Plus, one of the Marvel shows. So a lot going on in that space. Yeah. So I think that show's going to be a lot of fun. I have to catch up. I'm only one in also, but yeah, there's a lot going on. So we'll be talking about that on Sunday, and then Monday we have a new Clone Wars Revisited, where we're wrapping up our arc with Luminara and Barriss. We're going to get to the
That's
brain
a
worms.
long arc. That's not even like a 3 episode. That's that's more than 3. The setup for that. Before that, wasn't there? Because you guys have been doing. You guys have been doing that for a while. I think it
feels like we have. Yeah,
Barriss and Luminara. I think were what you're going to end on episode 8, but they were entered. I don't know.
It's been a minute, and then Clone Wars really starts picking up. We get into Mandalore soon enough, and then before you know,
one of those shows where as it progresses, it gets better and better.
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
Yeah, but all of the things, and you guys should all, if you are not ever showing up on the Tuesday nights, join us for the Cantina. The happy hour is just tons of fun. It starts at 7 Eastern, but we are on all night long.
Okay, it goes quite a long time.
Yeah,
a lot of the time. So don't feel like you shouldn't click on that link in the Facebook post when you see it, even if it's not, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. If it's 5, 6, 7 o'clock Pacific, still very likely that there'll be a group of people hanging out just bullshitting.
There is most definitely still people in there at 1, 2 o'clock Eastern.
What is it? 7, 8, 9, 10 o'clock Eastern easily, but then beyond as well. So. And then this week we have coming up, I don't know what the subject matter is, but...
the Nerfers.
They will obviously be doing something geek-centric, and they always have great discussions. And they're both very opinionated when it comes to their thoughts on whatever it is they're talking about. So that's cool. But then next week we'll be back, and we'll have that guy who's not here. Magic. And we'll do Light and Magic 3rd episode of season 2, and that will be a nice wrap up to that. And then again, if you guys have any thoughts on something you'd like us to watch, feel free to let us know one way or another here in the chat, on in a post on Facebook, in our messenger or whatever. Go for it. Let us know. Don't spam us. But yeah, so that we have some ideas, and we've expanded upon it a little bit tonight. But if there's anything else we're not thinking of, or something that you're just a big fan of, and then they've done something Star Wars-ish, we'll definitely consider it. And then there's, eventually we'll probably get back to doing things that are just Star Wars adjacent, like watching movies that have actors that are in the movies, all of the trilogies and beyond. And you never know, we may end up watching something like Fantastic Four since Pedro's in it, and what's his face that plays the Thing from Andor. So that's a good connection. That's a ways away before we can stream it, but You never know. So
Yeah, that can be a lot of fun.
So besides that, anything else going on?
Oh, nothing except it's like I forgot to mention this earlier. Is I don't know that there's anybody over there, but we are now streaming to Twitch. People, is if you are one of those people that does that, you can check us out over on the Twitch as well as all of our other social media places.
That is a place that we will be streaming to regularly if it gets. Depends on what the situation is, but we may or may not be. Sometimes we don't stream places where we should be, and other times we remember. So
yes, it's like if you want the content, remind us, talk to us, let us know.
And if you engage in
out there
a specific place, you're probably more likely for us to remember or decide we can to continue to stream there.
Yes,
but definitely. So, all righty. Anything else you got to talk about there, Mark? Anything coming up?
No, just make sure you tune in Sunday for the special Pride episode, and then I will see you guys on Clone Wars Revisited on Monday.
Got a double.
Excellent.
And as we talk about the summer, aside from all the spoofs and everything, we're going to be doing some additional programming as we get ready for Texas. So be on the lookout for all of our countdown to Rebel Scum Con. More news will be coming along the way, and getting ready for Boonta Eve. I can't wait. It's going to be a blast.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
All right, I think that's everything.
Well,
alrighty.
May the Force be with you, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys. Long live the Republic.